Welcome to the number one friendship podcast in the country. I'm Matt Ritter.
I'm Matt and Karo.
Guys, go to the Man of the Year podcast.com. I think I said it wrong, but it doesn't matter.
You
Go
said it
check
wrong
it out.
last episode too, and it's just enraging. It's not the Man of the Year podcast.com. It's just Man of the Year podcast.com. It's been our website for 3 years.
I'm not capable of saying it that way. But anyway, Kid will give you the link. Buy our stuff. We've got some onesies there. Check out our YouTube page. Kiro, today I want to go on a bit of a rant about a new fad. You know, every couple of years, it feels like people get into new things. You know, some years it's Ozempic, sometimes it's Botox. You know, this year there seems to be a trend towards a little something that I think most men are pretty scared of. I'm talking about vasectomies. The convo that suddenly has been popping up all over the place, and I just want to go on a rant against. I find it offensive that people are trying to snip our vest deferens.
I don't know.
Yeah. I find it distasteful, and it's just something that suddenly I was out to dinner and one of my buddies was like, "You thinking about doing this?" Another one, you think I'm like, who is programming these guys to do this? You know, is this are the women conspiring to get the men together to do this? And I started thinking about it. I'm like, first of all, no, I'm not putting a hot laser to my scrotum. I think you have to do them individually, each ball sack at a time.
Wait, laser? I thought it's like a little scissor.
Even worse. I mean, I thought it was. I thought it was some sort of fishing lure where I've seen it. They like take the tube and they do some sort of loop to it and twist it around. And everybody's just like, oh yeah, it's no big deal. Snip, snip. I'm like, snip, snip to the place that I want nobody ever getting near with a scissor. Or just a little snip, snip, like of my most treasured, prized asset. The other thing about it that I was thinking is like, everybody acts like it's just this minor thing, but everybody I've ever talked to is like, oh yeah, it's worse than I thought it was going to be. Like, why did you think it was going to be fine? They're taking a red hot poker to your balls. That's a torture method. For most of history, that was considered a torture method. You know, you want to be Varys, the little eunuch with his little birds. You're going to deliberately do that to yourself. The only thing I could think of, though, I just started thinking like, oh, all right, let me just look at this objectively. Like, I understand you don't want to have kids anymore. It's safer, you know. Then if the woman wants to go off birth control, I get it. It's a conversation like, oh, you know, it's misogynistic. Why should it be on the man? Shouldn't be on either. Okay, if you don't want to do it and if you don't want to disfigure yourself and she doesn't want to disfigure herself, then nobody disfigures themselves. That's how I see it. But then I was like, well, maybe there is an upside about it. And the only upside I could think of is if you are planning on having a lot of baby mamas, it's baby mama insurance, and it makes you look good to your wife. You're like, hey, I'm doing this for you, but it's also side piece insurance.
Have you ever heard of it's called PBCS, post-birth control syndrome?
No, what is that?
So when a woman, like you're describing, goes off birth control, and women have been on for decades.
Yeah.
Decades have been on birth control.
Right.
Sometimes it changes your chemistry, your hormones, and then they despise their partner.
Oh yeah, right. They find out they never liked this person. It was the birth control. It's like a little Dennis Quaid controlling Martin Short in Inner Space. The birth control was like, oh yeah, I like that lawyer. And like, no, I hate that. I hate lawyers.
But it's like it's the genetic, like your genes hate your partner now.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. You know, you get off birth control. It's just Jekyll and Hyde. 30 years of Jekyll. Suddenly you get off birth control. Hyde comes out.
So are you going to do it?
Never.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you're going to get worn down.
No, Jesse doesn't care. We had this combo last night. I was like, what's going on here? Because then I texted our Luger's crew to find out if this was a West Coast thing. And they're like, nope, that's all men in their 40s and 50s talk about every single day, whether or not to get the snip.
I love how you thought it would be a West Coast thing. What is it?
Well, we're like fad doers. We're
no, Matt, you're a fad doer. Matt's got his Tamagotchi. He's wearing a friendship bracelet right now. I mean, like, you're so fad forward.
Well, that's why you would have thought I would do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been around for decades, but yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's, yeah. As I told you, I have a friend who got it and he said it was pretty bad.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't know if I could. Well, yeah, why not? It's a shout out to the guys' practice. So I asked our East Coast crew, and one of our buddies from New Jersey said actually one of the most prominent doctors who does the vasectomy has the best name for it on earth. Do you want to guess what it is?
Well, I'm on the train, so I know what it is. Did you forget because you seem to be searching for it?
No. I'm looking up something where the name is actually. Do you know what this word is? Where the name of a job is the person's last name or name?
Right, there's like, you know, like a punter name like James Foote or something like that.
Yeah.
No, what's that called?
Just something I forget. And now I'm blanking on. I was trying, you know.
Great. This is great content. We're watching Matt Google.
Aptronym.
Oh, interesting. Aptronym. That's an interesting word, aptronym.
Yeah. When your name is your profession. So this guy's name is Dr. Seaman.
I mean, that would be like if you were Matt Friend, basically.
Right. So go see Dr. Seaman in New Jersey if you want to get snipped. Apparently he's the best.
How many times per day do you think he has to like make a comment or a joke or someone visit him, like per day?
Well, if he has 30 appointments, I'd say 30.
I love how you always say that. You know how I never understand other people because I just think of it through my own lens. And you're like, people are just built different. These doctors, like colonoscopy, vasectomy, the ones who just churn out 50 a day.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that so boring?
Dude, I think they just look at their life as in between. Like this is the in between their vacations and their purchases.
Wow. It's actually a really interesting way of thinking about it.
Yeah, like this is like I'm no offense to our amazing OBGYN, but in the 4 minutes that he sees us every 2 weeks, I'm like, this guy doesn't know or care about us. I'm like, and every month he's on a different awesome vacation at a different vacation house. And so I think he's just looking at life in increments of Airbnb rental properties.
That's amazing. Wait, do you really feel like he doesn't have like good bedside manner?
He's got great bedside manner. That's the funny part. Amazing bedside manner, but I see right through it.
Right. Yeah. It's just your appointment is what he calls in between rounds of golf.
That's what I'm saying, because how could he know me? He gets a 4 minute. We literally get him for 4 minutes every couple of weeks or months. But he's got, like you said, it's like 30 of those a day and they're all the same.
But do you expect him to know you?
I don't know. At first I did, because it's like the birth of your child. This is the person that's giving,
right.
Like
that's what's crazy. This is the most important thing that's ever happened to you, and he doesn't care about it at all.
Yeah, he calls you number 742.
They have a ticker like at the deli.
Yeah, like he said, I'm a deli counter 49. You got the godmother coming up.
There's also people picking up wings at Fireside, and then you.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Anyway, so where did we come out on this? Are you ever going to get the snip?
I think, I got to use my vas deferens before I snip them. You got to use them or you lose.
You got to use it before you deliberately lose it.
I don't know. I luckily have never even thought about it. But it's also reversible, isn't it?
No, I was going to get to that. No, that's the part where every time there's in any walk of life, anytime there's like a major surgery that is risky, that we're not even sure has any benefits, there's always like that. That's the argument. Oh, don't worry about it. It's reversible. And then when you do any sort of deep dive on the reversibility, it's like, oh, doing it is a minor surgery. Getting it reversed is a major surgery. Getting a reversal of a vas deferens is not a snip. They're putting you under a major surgery to redo it.
Right. Got it. Well, I believe this is one of our best transitions ever.
Yeah.
because we started with we started with vasectomies, and now we're going to talk about regret.
Perfect.
Regret, friendship regret specifically, because I was reading one of these articles, Matt. I actually always stop on them on TikTok or whatever when like 10 things a hospice patient, hospice nurse says her dying patients say. Like that always interests me.
Me too.
And by the way, I never use it. Like they're like, do these 3 things. That's all you care about. Like, nah, forget it. I need to work harder.
Oh, like the things you should have done in life when they're on their bedside.
Or not to. Yeah.
You go, nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't buy it. Spend more time with your grandkids. I don't buy it.
And so interestingly, this was the first one that I saw that mentioned friendship. And this hospice volunteer, she said she hears one regret over and over from patients: letting relationships wither. They wish they had made more plans with good friends, or they thought about getting back in touch with an old buddy and they talked themselves out of it and they regretted it in their last moments. And, I don't know. We've talked a little bit about FOMO. We'll get into it, but this is more sort of bigger, existential, which is people regretting what they did or didn't do in their social lives.
Yeah. And I think, regret it should be a good motivator, right? When you read those articles, right? It should be a good motivator. Like you're looking at people who are definitively saying, this is what I regret. And here we are sitting in our 40s going, hey, we could really do something about it. And we still don't. Because it's hard. It's easier said than done to go, hey, I'm going to like reach out to a friend that I had a falling out with 5 years ago and haven't talked to in 5 years. Like that's pretty daunting to just be like, oh, well, I'll just fix that now.
Let me ask you this. I've always wondered this. When someone has a near-death experience, I mean, like they're in a car accident or, something traumatic happens and they change. They go, these are the things that are most important. I don't care about this dumb nonsense I've been doing. I'm going to only do X. Well, okay,
No, go on. I just have so many thoughts.
And I'm always like, okay, why can't I just do that now?
Yeah. First of all, I don't, most of the time, like just from my experience, well, my dad, I just could like put myself in the hospital when my dad was 50 at his first heart surgery, quintuple bypass. And he's like, I'm done gambling.
Sorry.
Like he's like, I'm done, I'm like, okay. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't know. I think a lot of people think they have these big epiphanies and they're going to change, but changing a lifetime of behaviors is not that simple.
What is a quintuple bypass?
Okay. That's a great question because every time I had heard that before, I was like, I thought there were only 4 arteries.
Yeah.
So you want to get your mind blown?
Is it vasectomy adjacent?
Yeah, no, it's not. But men, this is what I was told when I was like, hey, quintuple, isn't that 5? Aren't there 4? The math doesn't work.
Yeah.
Apparently men in their 40s start developing ancillary pathways. The body creates, when there's blockages, the body creates smaller ancillary arteries. So apparently, like when you're in your 40s, you have more than 4, and he had more than 4 blockages. So that's what I was told.
He grew another passage, then blocked it.
then blocked it.
Oh man. So I took us on a tangent going back to what you just said about not having spoken to friends in a while. And actually, I want to save that because we have a listener question about it. But why? I guess let's get to the why of it. Okay, you're on that last day. Why do you think people say this?
Oh, you mean
why do they have this regret?
Oh, why? Yeah, I mean, they always say that people don't regret the things they do, right? They regret the things they don't do.
Yes.
Right. So it's like you've got like these things you can do in life, right? You can do anything, right? But once you haven't done it, right? It's like you don't like what it is to do something, right? But like you don't really know what it's like to have not done it. Mm-hmm. So I think that when you're like inventorying all the things you could have done in life, right? It hits you. You're like, man, I could have had all these experiences with that person. Yeah.
Do you think this dovetails with sort of the larger thrust of our entire podcast, which is that the friendship is not considered an important relationship to many people?
100%. 100%. You know, I had this thought yesterday when I was thinking about today's record because I knew the topic. And I was thinking, man, we've been doing this for, whatever, 2.5 years. And still, I'm so far from where I could be with some of my friendships.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I still in the field, I always say in the field, I still talk to people who are like, yeah, my friendships are lacking, but it is what it is. And like, I'll deal with it later. Or, I don't need friends. I have
Yeah.
a partner. Like,
There
that's
is no
so not.
later. And that's the thing. There's no later. However you are, unless you're going to commit to the change, that's how you're going to be, right?
Someone said, oh, it was Sahil Bloom in our recent episode. He said later is a synonym for never.
I like that. I think it's largely true.
Yeah.
For most people.
Especially this kind of change. Like, I think if you and I are like, all right, we'll work on this project later, we actually literally mean it. But when it's a holistic change in your life, which I God knows I need some, it's either doing it or you're not doing it.
Yeah. And with friendships, like, especially with friendships, what is going to spur the later, because if it's like a work thing, at least, like, oh, all right, well, I need to make money later, then I got to do this thing or something. But what is going to spur the change later that isn't spurring it now?
Right. Right.
I'm not sure there is.
I think it all comes back to probably our number one tip, which is be the friend, which is that, either you have existing friends that you need to strengthen or you haven't seen, or you're lacking in friends in the first place. The answer to both of those is be the friend. No one's just going to come up to you and make friends with you. What did we say once? Like no one sends you a text and says, hey, want to go play catch in the park? Like, you have to do it.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, look, I think a lot of people are walking around with a lot of friendship regrets, but they haven't really inventoried them. They've really just blocked them out for the most part.
Another very important, like, is it tenant?
Tenet.
Okay. Yeah. So what's tenant?
Like a landlord, tenant?
Oh, right,
like a,
right.
Like person who lives in my back house.
So another tenet is it's never too late, right? Like, for these people, it is too late because they're dying. But, I forgot I don't know if you were with me, but I was talking to a buddy and his dad is 80 and many of his friends have passed away. And he's like, oh, well, that's over for me. Friendship's over for me. I'm like, no, it's not. You got 20 years left.
Yeah. Unless you're actually seeing the light, you can still see the light.
Right. Go listen. One way is the light. The other way is your bros.
Yeah. Run away from the light, Carol Ann. Remember that Poltergeist? Carol Ann, come to the light, Carol Ann.
What is that from?
Poltergeist. They'd always try and get her to go die. Like the light was death. And they were just like, come to the light, Carol Ann. Like, so messed up.
You know what, Matt? You know what we've never talked about on this pod or off the pod? Do you believe in any sort of, like, your life flashing before your eyes, near-death experience, seeing your relatives, any of that?
It is odd that people across cultures have had very similar experiences across cultures, across time. So I think it's either two things, right? Either there is something that we don't know. And I've always thought, hey, there's definitely something greater than me. Or just the body shuts down in the exact same way.
Well, for the former, I've read that potentially the reason why everyone has the same experience because you've heard other experiences and then.
No, because this cuts across cultures where people have had no access to that knowledge.
But I'm saying everybody in Japan has heard stories about people in Japan who's seeing their dead relatives. So that's what they're seeing.
Right. Yeah, right. But some people haven't had that experience where they've had it heard, where they've heard.
Yeah.
That would account for it, I think, if it seeped into your mind.
Yeah. I mean, it is obviously life's great mystery. I don't know what I feel. I kind of feel for my entire life, I felt like that's it. You're dead. The end of consciousness. It's over.
It's a very Karo. It's a very Karo. Look at that. You're just worm food.
And I'll tell you what. I've always said I wanted to be cremated.
Yeah.
I just think burying a body in the ground and like it's just insane.
I've told you the coffin story, so I agree. The coffin upsell.
I mean, the coffin story. Oh, they upsold you?
Where they upsell you because they go, oh, how much you want to spend? You're like, not that much. They're like, okay, here's this paper bag. You want to put it in there? Right. Oh God, no! Don't put them in a paper bag for God's sakes.
When my uncle recently passed away, they took my aunt for a ride.
Oh yeah, on the coffin you're talking about?
Yeah,
the cherry finish.
It's mahogany, like you've never seen. It was beautiful.
She went to mahogany, yeah, and the special gold-plated bolts, yeah.
It's ridiculous. But anyway, I think
the lacquer on the inside too.
He's gonna be very comfortable. He's very comfortable. Rest in peace.
The little HVAC unit, the little mini HVAC unit in there.
It is insane the cushioning they have. He's dead. He's dead.
You got the Sealy. She got the Sealy. She went with the Sealy, mattress firm.
Posturepedic. I wonder if Sealy should get into the coffin business.
They really should. I mean, why should people be uncomfortable in the afterlife, right? Why should they be on a lumpy bed for all of eternity? Yeah. Also, I don't know, do people get buried together? Because then the sleep number should get in the game too.
A sleep number coffin for two people.
Yes, yeah, sleep number. What's your death number? What's your permanent? What's your permanent sleep?
Forgive me if this is too personal, but did you look at your father open casket?
Oh yeah, just his head.
Yeah. Like just the top half of the saloon door.
Very cold. It's very cold.
But in the funeral or in the morgue?
In the morgue. In the funeral, we kept it closed.
Got it. So what was that? If you don't mind me asking, what was it like in the morgue?
It's brutal. It's the worst. It's the worst moment of my life for sure.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's like the permanence of it for forever. That's the moment you're like, oh, this is done. He's gone. Because when you're in the hospital and they just died, it's
yeah,
kind of there's something alive about him. I think there is actually some processes still happening. Once they're in that morgue, it's just a slab.
Do you regret looking at him there?
No.
Yeah.
I would go back in now and look if I could.
Really? No. What?
I'd go dig him up for a peek. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Wow. This went into a dark place.
Should we move on to a listener question?
Yes, let's take a listener question. Guys, we'll be right back. Okay, this is asking for a friend. If you have a friendship question or ethical dilemma, send it to us on Instagram. It's Man of the Year Podcast is the actual handle, Matt, Man of the Year Podcast. And we'll answer on the show. Okay, so this is a good one, Matt. They say, Dear Matt and Karo, love the pod, but I'm in desperate need of asking for a friend advice. This is from a guy, by the way. He says, I ghosted my best friend Jake 2 years ago, and I regret it every day. We had a stupid fight about me canceling plans too often, and instead of apologizing, I just stopped responding. I told myself I'd reach out when things felt less awkward, but now so much time has passed that I don't even know how to fix it. I see him posting about his life, and it kills me that I'm not part of it anymore. How do I even begin to make this right after all this time?
Wow, such a good question. Such a good question. And it's so, I don't know, it's courageous to do this stuff because it's scary and somebody's got to do it. Otherwise, you both just end up never being friends, and that's a shame, right? And we do blow things up. We blow close friendships up over nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just never talk. Yeah. Never talk again over nothing.
It's I mean, I think probably both of our advice is going to be you should reach out. This guy's not going to reach out to you. You ghosted him.
Even so, I want to back up on that. That. I don't think that we should be encouraging our listeners to abide by those rules, right? If you were the one who were spurned by a friend or whatever, and you still feel like you want to figure out a way to repair it, you can do that. It doesn't have to be, because by the way, they're probably both at fault too. This whole idea, I definitely did the thing, so I have to repair it. Maybe that's not also true, And if the other friend isn't talking to you, it's maybe also because they didn't want to, I don't know. I just want to be look, if either of you feel you want to get back in touch, whether or not that person wronged you and they haven't apologized and you think there's a way to repair it and you feel like you're missing something, just do it.
You know, I got to say, I actually, this happened in real life. Someone came to me, a college friend. So about 20 years ago, these two of my fraternity brothers, they had a falling out like over a girl, and they never spoke again. And one of the guys said to me, "I think I'm going to reach out. Our reunion's coming up. Like, want to see what he's up to." And he doesn't think the other
20 years?
guys like say again.
20 years?
20 years, yeah. 20 years.
Wow. They hadn't spoken in 20 years.
Haven't spoken in 20 years. And I said to him, and I think if you just looked at this objectively, the other person was probably the one who was scorned, and maybe my buddy was the scorner, whatever, fine.
Yeah.
And I was kind of just like, well, why do you want to get in? Like, why do you want to get in touch? And it seemed like he actually did not, like, he's like, well, I just kind of want to see, you know, what he would
really have a
say.
good reason. He didn't really have a good reason.
Exactly. I was
So
like, I said, I just think you should leave it.
Leave it. Right.
You know,
And some friendships are meant, maybe, you know, like that's the thing. A lot of the times men have these falling outs or falling offs, as we say, and they haven't quite consciously thought it through consciously, but they have thought it through subconsciously. And by that, I mean, you should listen to your, you know, instincts that made you make this decision. Even if you haven't totally processed it on a conscious level, you made a decision to not talk to that person. And maybe that's right for you. But if it's not right for you, then you should be able to figure out why you want to get back in touch with them.
In this instance of the listener question, let's say he decides, you know what, I have my reasons are true. I want to reach out to Jake. Any best practices?
Yes. My number one best practice is we're not going to dwell on the breakup.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think for men, for male friendships, I think the best move is if you're going to address it, it's got to be quick and move on. If it's going to be about that, it's just so hard.
Yeah, but what if the other person wants to dwell on it?
Well, if the other person wants to dwell on it, then you're going to have to figure out a way to navigate that, right? If they don't, if they come in just like, okay, let's moving on, I think you should reciprocate that energy of just moving on.
I think another way to sort of reframe what you just suggested, which I like, is in your reach out, you could say, listen, I apologize, you know, but don't dwell on that.
Right. Yeah. Be like, look, you know, I'm sorry things, you know, went however they went. Let's not rehash it. Let's not I don't want to litigate. We'd love to just hang out. Right. Set the terms of the hang.
Yeah. I think
you set the terms of the hang.
I like an apology. You know, I think it just goes a long way.
Yes.
I like saying I miss you. Like I like expressing gratitude. Your friendship is important to me.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the person who wronged the person, yes, I agree. You have to apologize and, you know, clear the air. But I think there's apologizing and then there's dwelling, you know?
What's the vehicle? Phone call, text, email?
I mean, I think text is just easiest. The thing is we build up in our head. The longer it goes, the harder it is, right? Mm-hmm. So a year goes by, it's a lot harder to call somebody. 2 years go by, it feels like impossible to just pick up the phone and call somebody.
See, the problem. Say the last part again.
I think you just lob a text like, "Hey, right. We have to get together," you know. But yes, you're gonna have to do the apology, and that has to be either a phone or in person.
The problem, listen, I think we both are, you know, a little bit more phone forward, and if you recall from like whatever the Valentine's Day episode, we were talking about calling this girl that I was talking to. The problem with our culture now is that like people don't pick up the phone. So especially if it's someone you haven't talked to in 2 years, well, are you going to leave a voicemail? Probably not. So then you just have a missed call from this guy.
Right.
So then maybe you follow up with a text after that.
Then you follow up with a text. Hey man, we just wanted to catch up. If you have a minute, we'd love to chat. You know, it's hard because then they're not going to know whether you're doing the apology.
I want to also analyze one part of the question. He said, we had a stupid fight about me canceling plans too often. This is Matt's bugaboo. This is Matt's peccadillo. Stop canceling plans so much.
Right. And that's not a minor thing. Clearly. It says you don't respect that person and you're not invested in their relationship.
Like, social plans should not be fungible. Like, you made the plan, unless something really came up, like, stick to the plan.
As I've said, I just put you in another bucket. Like, I don't necessarily cast you out with sodomites, but I put you in another bucket. Just that you're not a real high quality friend. You're in the whatever. I could take them or leave them. If they want to come. I'm never going to make a direct plan with just me and you, where my plans are on the line, where now my night is ruined if you don't show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I recently had a couple interactions. I was with some people and they were like, "Oh, we got to hang out." And I was like, "No, we don't. Like, we're not that close." And then
right.
Yes.
You stop saying that.
But then I had another interaction with friends, and it was like, "Oh, we got to hang out," but we actually meant it. And then we followed up with text, and then I had dinner with them last night.
That's great.
So, like, I think maybe to your point, Matt, the saying we should hang out is devaluing. It's like the boy who cried plans.
Yeah, the boy who cried plans. Love it. Plans. Genius.
Then otherwise no one knows if you're serious or not.
Right. Yeah, that term means nothing to me. When people say we should hang out, it means absolutely nothing.
Right. I'm writing this down.
Do we answer it? Do you think we answered
yes,
it?
Yes, guys, that was asking for a friend. If you have a friendship question, send it to us on Instagram and we'll answer it on the show.
Yeah. So just do it. It was the moral of the story.
I thought you were wrapping into a different thing. Yes, no, just do it.
Yeah. I wanted to say, I think you'd be proud of me for something I did, which is, I guess, slightly out of what I think is my character of, like, I don't know, just being too available to people.
Available.
Yeah, too available, too spreading myself too thin. A friend, not even that close, asked me to take a coffee with somebody to, like, mentor who's trying to get into the biz. You know how I feel about the time of the coffee, and it's a 30-minute commitment. Fine, but whatever. I'm busy. I could be with my son. I left because they were so late.
Okay, so that's almost a different topic. I mean, first of all, unacceptable. How late?
16 minutes late.
I mean, for a indirect introduction, in other words, a friend of a friend, you got to be there 15 minutes early.
Yeah, 16 minutes late. I said, I'm bailing. I got to go. I have another meeting.
I would also never speak to the friend who introduced you again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I just thought you would be proud of me. That's the first time I've ever done that in my life.
Yes. I this is maybe the proudest I've ever been.
I'm feeling good about myself. At first, I felt really bad. I was feeling guilty. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't do this person. I'm sure they have their reasons. Like, I went through that whole Rolodex of excuses that I make for people.
I mean, did they have a reason? They're just like, I'm running late.
Yeah, just I'm running late, and then like parking's gonna be hard, and like all this stuff.
No. Were they younger than us? Youthful?
Yep.
Ugh, guys, kiddos. Yeah. Lesson learned. Hey, and you know what? Maybe that is a good lesson he or she has learned. Like, now I got to show up on time.
And then they were like, next time I promise I'll be on time. And then I didn't respond.
Yeah. I'm really proud of you, Matt.
You
reclaim your time.
Yeah, I reclaimed my time. The gentleman from Hancock Park reclaims his time.
Oh, all right, guys. I think we covered it. Let us know if you have any friendship regrets or people that you need to reach out to that you've been ghosted or been ghosted by. Thank you so much for listening. Always remember, be good to yourself. Oh, wait, he's back. I got to stop. We need to ask our listeners, please let us know if you have or have not had a vasectomy, a snip, and tell us. Yes. Send us your snip stories and we will share it on the show. Always remember, be good to yourself, be good to your friends. Love you, buddy. Love you, buddy.